Star-Lord headphones.
I am the Star. Look, don't be jealous. Don't hate me because you ain't me.
Ready, Joe?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait. God damn it. Chris, man, I told you I'm going through some shit.
I can see.
That's fantastic. All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. That's right. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. I'm your host, Scott. With me, as always, my co-host, Mary and Chris.
You're going to need a bigger podcast.
Oh, that was good.
I like that one.
I like how you immediately said it and then you took a sip of your drink. Like you reflexing on us hard.
As always, please connect with us on Facebook, No New Friends Podcast, the Instagram, no.new.friends.podcast, our YouTube channel, where there's a really funny video of my father attempting a rap today. So we're going to try to make that our next viral video. You can email us nonewfriendspodcast@yahoo.com. And also please support our sponsors. I Believe Services for all of your residential or commercial cleaning needs. I Believe Services.us 407-928-4595. Also our brand new sponsor, Brandy and Maria with eXp Realty. You can visit them at winterspringsliving.com. Now I'm very excited about the guest that we have with us today. It is now my favorite podcast from the Diz Hiz Podcast. The host himself, Joe, is in the house. Joe, how you doing, man?
How you doing?
I'm good.
That's for Chris right there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's a funny story. We all met after we had Remy from Remy's Roundtable on our show. And then he's like, well, why don't you guys come on Diz Journey? And I was really confused about the whole thing, who's who and what's what.
We still are.
I'm so confused.
I feel like a good Venn diagram could really hash it out.
Remy is the key.
Remy is the key. And, we met Joe, and I've started listening to Joe's podcast, the Diz Hiz Podcast, which is all about Disney history. And Joe, I got to tell you, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking my messages. Like I message him nonstop when his episode drops because I'm listening to it and I'm either agreeing with something, filling in a blank on something, or yelling at him for something that his co-host has said.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Now, where did you come up with the concept?
So, there's so many different Disney podcasts out there, and they usually touch a little bit on history, but they don't do the whole episode on history. And that was usually my favorite part of the, whenever I'm sitting there listening to a podcast or a Disney podcast, and when they talk about the history of a ride, that was like my favorite part. And I always wanted more. So I was like, let's go ahead and I want to start a history podcast that focuses on just one attraction. And it kind of really digs deep into that attraction, digs deep into that movie, and do a whole episode on it instead of just touch on it.
Yeah, I love it. And you're so organized with your format. Like we're all over the place. We could go into a segment not having any idea what we're going to talk about. And we're like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. You're it's very methodical. I can set my watch by when you're going to do the rating, memories, and then Alex's funny singing.
Yeah, but usually it's not like that when we do it live. That's how we edit our show, So
right.
Usually it's a mess, and then
the magic of editing.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your favorite episode? Because you're on your 105th episode, correct?
Yeah.
Which is amazing. So this has been going on for over a year now?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's coming up on 2 years on the 18th, I believe.
Wow, congratulations. That's so awesome. So what was your favorite episode so far?
My favorite episode is any episode that we talk about a cruise ship.
Okay.
So I love the Disney cruises. They're like my favorite thing to do. And because everything's pretty much brought to you. You pretty much sit there and they bring everything to you. All the food's brought to you.
I love that idea.
I know, right?
I haven't been on one yet, mostly because my kids like electricity and like to eat. They're expensive.
Oh,
they can be.
I was gonna say they have electricity and
no,
food on
I mean
the boat.
in general.
Now I get
like
what you're saying.
My kids may need to go to college one day. It's,
see, Chris thinks that everything like in Florida we're third world. So like he asked us.
Yeah, I forget sometimes
down there. Yeah. We're normal. We have electricity here.
I mean, we don't exactly act like we're anything outside of third world, though.
I see the headlines.
Yeah,
I know. That's what I mean.
Joe, just to clarify, your favorite episode wasn't, I don't know, Grand Fiesta Tour or or I don't
No,
know,
those-
Navi River Journey.
Those are pretty much like my least favorite. I believe.
So Chris was a guest host on
Yeah.
those two episodes, recent episodes. I thought those two episodes were hilarious.
Yeah, they were really funny. You know, Chris, thanks for coming on.
That was so much
Jen,
fun.
so we have, I have Alex. He was on your on No New Friends
Alex was on
podcast
a
there
couple weeks ago. Yep.
And then Jen, she actually is, she has a lot of things going on like with her life. You know, her daughter just graduated. She's on a trip right now to Hawaii.
Wow.
So we've had a couple. We had pretty
Diz
much
Hiz
like a month.
Podcast is doing very well. Congratulations,
Yeah,
Joe.
right. I wish. But so she had to take off for a couple episodes. So we had Chris on for a couple episodes, and we had Dane, which Scott, you're a big fan of Dane.
I love Dane. I think Dane is hilarious. And the last episode that you did before today's episode was River Country.
Yeah.
And the fact that he kind of snuck and got as far as he could without trespassing and got to see the overgrown post-apocalyptic river country was really, really cool to hear about. And I've got to see his videos because I know he's got a lot of videos on YouTube with that. Mary, had you ever gone to river country or were you too young for no?
No, I wasn't too young for it. My parents just didn't love me, which is fine.
I did go to river country when I was a kid. We had some.
Of course you did. You have 47 baby books. Your mom loves you.
We had some family in town and we rented an RV and they stayed in a cabin. We stayed in the RV at Fort Wilderness, which was a really,
cool.
really cool experience. If it's different. It's different than any other theme park resort because it's like a campground, but it's a really nice like Disneyfied campground.
What they call it, like what do they call it? Glamping, I guess.
Yeah,
Yes.
glamping. It is definitely glamping for sure. And one of our days, we did the theme parks and all that, and one of our days was at River Country. So it brought back some fond memories of wearing nose plugs to avoid the amoebas and
Did you really wear nose
No,
plugs?
I didn't. No, I didn't. That was before we realized actually it was in November, which is crazy to think that we went to a water park in November. But we did. And I remember it being cold, except for because you had the big lake. It wasn't a lake, but the Bay Lake or whatever. And then you had the pool with the slides that like cut off 7 feet. And it's like just a free fall drop. That pool was heated. The other one was not. So I remember freezing.
Did you see Goofy go down that slide?
Yes, that's insane. Like, how does he not drown?
I don't know. Did you see it live though?
No.
That wasn't like an everyday thing, whatever. That
No,
was
I
on
don't.
for the
It's
video.
not like Tinkerbell flying from the castle.
I wonder who thought of River Country. Like, I feel like it was just like some troll, and they're like, you know what? Let's see how much money we can charge people to go swimming in a lake, and they're like, let's do it. Because that's all. That's all. Like the theming was just like swimming in the lake. Like only Disney could come up with a way to make to charge people $80 a day to literally swim in a lake.
Right? I know.
It's true.
They're brilliant.
And die.
Well, according to the Diz Hiz podcast, there was only 3 deaths.
I know. There was like people like dying every day.
It's like no one's never died in my pool.
This wasn't.
Do you
like,
even have a pool?
I do. It's above ground, but
Okay.
it's technically a pool.
Okay, Chris, I know that you're used to the theme parks in New Jersey, like Action Park, which will literally kill a person a day. We have safe theme parks here in Orlando.
There's rules down there.
There's rules and regulations and all sorts of guidelines and stuff. Joe, I felt bad when we had Alex on. We were talking before the show, and this never made it to air, but I was like, yeah, man, I listened to the Jaws episode and I love that one. And he's like, well, did you listen to any others? And I was like, well, not yet. And he's like, so you go and you start listening to a Disney history podcast, and the only episode you listened to was about Universal Studios. I'm like, yeah, I probably should listen to some more then. But it's a really great show. So, for our listeners, make sure you check them out. Diz Hiz Podcast, Diz Hiz 65 on pretty much every email. Just Google that stuff and it'll come up.
Yes, dizhiz.com, DIZHIZ.com, and pretty much all of the links are on the webpage for everything. So.
Exactly. And it's such a well done webpage. I'm a little bit jealous. If only we had a marketing expert on our podcast team.
I know, right?
That would be like super cool because then you guys would stop riding my ass to do
No, I'm
stuff
talking about
all the
you.
time.
I'm talking about you.
I know.
I saw your little spotlight for your coworkers.
She's just
Okay,
so
but
humble.
that was
Can you do a
adorable,
spotlight for
okay?
us?
Guys,
Damn.
okay, are you gonna pay me or like
She
what?
doesn't like us
I'm
enough. She
trying.
can't think of enough good
I'm
things to
trying.
say about us. That's the problem.
I could think of good things to say about
Chris.
Joe.
Thank you.
No, thank you, actually. I'm gonna buy you a shirt that says ally on it.
Yeah, I was
For me.
Joe, I was checking out the website from one of your sponsors, the three chickie. Help
Oh
me
my
out with
gosh.
chicky
I have,
chicks?
I have 40
Yeah.
of those things in
Those
my
things
cabinet.
look fantastic.
Oh, they
like,
are.
and especially like when you go through and like some of them are from recognizable scents from the parks,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was looking for the Horizons one because Horizons is one of my favorite all-time rides, and just because of the scene when you go into the orange groves and you get that waft of orange smell. I also like that fake burning smell in Spaceship Earth. So I'm trying to find
Oh.
the fake.
They have one.
Yeah,
Do they?
burning room
Yeah.
or something.
It's called
right?
Burnt Empire or something like that.
That's fantastic because that smell is so terrible and so wonderful all at the same time.
I like
Yeah.
the food ones. They smell really
Oh my
good. They
God.
don't taste as delicious, but they smell like
the
the Mickey waffles. Joe, you've had that one, right?
Yeah. I got there's like a spray that we have that's Mickey Waffles.
Oh my gosh, this stuff. The
So
Mickey
now-
waffles.
For the Mexico Pavilion smell, is it a combination of chlorine and mildew? Because that's what I need to remind me of the Mexico
I
Pavilion.
love that
I
smell.
would
What
buy-
are you
I would buy
talking
that in a
about?
Oh, I
second.
love
I
it.
bought-
No,
Yeah.
I love it.
I bought the pirate water one, and it smells like must, and I love it.
Yes. That's like
Yes.
everybody loves the ET smell at
Oh,
Universal.
yes.
All
Yeah.
that is
Oh.
me fog and mildew. Like,
It's
people
great.
don't realize how much mildew is in that building.
It smells so good though.
It does. And then there's the Halloween Horror Night scent, which is a combination of plywood, burlap, and me fog. You put that combination together.
Also, sweat and vomit mixed with alcohol.
You might need to start your own candle company.
I know. I was about to say Universal
Yeah.
Studios. You know.
I should. I'm really liking hearing my own voice twice a week.
I
so.
feel like that you would be a lot like Jan from The Office at that point. Like you would have your own candle line and you'd be selling, pushing it out of your apartment or
Right.
town home. It'd be great.
Joe, what is your favorite Disney attraction?
Oh man, it changes all the time. But I think right now I would have to say Rise of the Resistance is my
Oh,
favorite.
such a great ride.
Yeah, it's a really cool ride. Very immersive ride. You know, it's and all the overall experience is just great.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in the movie, right? You've been on a couple of times, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, it's so immersive and so realistic. And it's not just the actual experience of once you're on the attraction. I love the nerve-wracking experience waking up at 6 a.m. to get that reservation at 7 and the stress and anxiety that goes along with it. Now, and it was especially bad when back in the old system when you would have to be in the park
Yeah.
by 8 a.m. So like I was excited anyway. It's Hollywood Studios and park hopping before COVID. If we didn't get those boarding passes, like my wife would have divorced me like, on the spot for making her wake up that early to get a damn boarding pass.
Mm-hmm.
Kylo Ren could very well be the best and worst animatronic at the same time.
Agreed, 100%.
It's like at sometimes like, wow, is that a real guy? And then he starts like doing like the robots. Like, oh no, it's not a real guy.
The technology
Which
behind
fascinates
that ride.
me.
It could be
Because-
real. He can just try to fake us all out.
Yeah,
That is true. Maybe he's just a really bad actor. I thought after the Navi River journey, after seeing that animatronic, I thought everything's gonna be real lifelike. And then Kylo Ren is just standing there like this, trying to get sucked through the. Through
Hey,
the
but
thing.
they had to cut the cost somewhere.
You gotta
right?
cut him somewhere.
Like
Gotta cut him
the River
somewhere.
Journey ride's like what 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
I can't with it. Listen to our listeners. If you get a chance, first of all, listen to as many Diz Hiz episodes as you possibly can. But you guys were too easy on Navi River Journey. That is by far the worst ride that Disney's ever put out.
You think so? You've been on it,
Absolutely.
right?
I've been on it now, and I went on it with a fast pass, so I only waited.
So
5
did I.
minutes.
So did I.
I could not.
And that was still too long.
And I hated it even with the fast pass. I can't imagine the people that wait for 2 hours to
Yeah, I know.
ride
It's
that ride.
unbelievable.
It is Small World with a really cool animatronic at the end.
Mhm.
The screens suck, right? I'm not the only one.
No,
The
I like the
screens-
screens. I like the screens.
The screens make me remember that it's not real. Like I see all these like things floating, and then I see like a TV behind the trees with the same loop going every 10 seconds of that thing just looking at you
Yeah.
and going and looking at you.
Flight of
Yeah.
Passage was good.
Yeah.
I still think it's a little bit overrated, especially with the wait time that it has. I think it's a cool ride, and I've only been on that once, and I was so distracted with trying to figure out how it was working. I'm so obsessed with looking around trying to figure out how rides work. So I'm like, okay, I saw something do something, but I'm very distracted. Like Transformers, I can't ride that ride at Universal without looking around to see where the elevator is, because you know that ride takes place on 2 stories, and there's an elevator up and an elevator down. So I'm so distracted by that. I was very distracted by Flight of Passage, trying to figure out how the ride works.
Well, do you remember when you went? Where were you? Like in the stadium? Were you like in the middle, or were you in like on the sides?
I have no idea.
You don't know, because if you're like on the sides, you can see pretty much everyone else.
Yeah, I don't know. Beer.
Yeah.
Beer.
That sounds about right.
I don't know. But have you seen, Joe, have you seen any information about Guardians and what that ride's going to be like? Because I try to avoid spoilers.
Do you want me to spoil some of it or no?
Well, give me a little bit. Give me something to get excited about.
So do you know, like Rock and Roller Coaster, it shoots you off like forward facing?
Yeah.
Well, Guardians shoots you off backwards. It's like the first roller coaster ever in the world that shoots you off backwards like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it shoots you off in reverse.
Right.
Which is kind of cool. And it's like,
so it's a coaster.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a coaster. Yeah.
This is, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first roller coaster too that you go 360, right? Like it's.
I'm not sure if it's the first one that goes 360. I know it's the first one that goes shoot you off backwards like that.
I think the seats rotate.
It does rotate. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's the first one, but the seats kind of rotate.
I think I just made that up, but it made it sound really cool.
No, it moves. You like kind of move.
I believed
in there
everything you said.
Thank you, Mary.
So it's all indoors. So is it going to be a themed coaster like Hagrid's? Or
I think it's gonna be all Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, of course. I mean, it's not going to be Hagrid's, but is it going to be
no
like
Harry Potter appearance?
Is it going to be a themed coaster, or is it going to be like Rock and Roller Coaster with the cheap neon cardboard?
Oh, it better not.
I
want something like Hagrid's.
So like one of the like more popular rides over at Disneyland is Mission Breakout. It's kind of like Tower, but it's like Mission Breakout, and you kind of go through like scenes and stuff like that. So I think there's gonna be a lot of screens, and I think you're gonna be kind of going to like different scenes. I think. I don't know. I'm not.
They better have some animatronics. If not, they did not learn from Universal's mistakes when Universal went down that path of all these 3D attractions.
I hate that.
And screens.
Well, I love those. I love that though.
I like them some of the time, and it was cool when they first started coming out, but then Universal completely abandoned the animatronics and the storyline, and everything was 3D, and people were pissed, especially
it costs so much money to kind of maintenance those animatronics.
I get it, but
it costs a lot to hire actors for the what's it called too?
For the what?
Like in Hagrid's, wasn't Hagrid's like a $300 million roller coaster because they had to rehire the original actors from the movie to film scenes?
Isn't that where you're talking about River Journey at the very end?
No,
like
that's serious.
No, they do not. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They had to hire the original actors for the scenes.
I see what you're saying.
Instead of the animatronics.
What are you talking about?
No,
I'll look it up.
Like the scenes, like they have to film the scenes in the attraction. So they have to pay the actors.
It would be cheaper to upkeep animatronics than it would be to dish out millions of dollars. Maybe.
It's not millions, man. They probably have to film for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but when
you're Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, I guess that's true.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break. When we get back, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of negativity going on because I've got some beef with one of Joe's co-hosts, and Mary is in a god-awful mood, and we're going to have some suggestions.
I didn't realize my forecast was calling for a front, Scott. Thank you, though.
I don't know what that means.
That means...
All right. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back. Did you not want to talk about your bad day?
We can talk about it. It wasn't even a day. It's just like right now.
Just waffles.
Forbidden Journey cost $131 million to build.
Yeah, but the animatronics in there are pretty amazing. Have you been on that ride, Chris?
No,
I love Forbidden Journey.
Forbidden Journey is one of the greatest things.
I agree. It's really great.
Wait, it was because I was watching a YouTube video and I was like, yeah, this was one of the most expensive roller coasters because they had to hire some of the cast is in it.
All of the cast is.
That's
every single member of that cast is in that.
How much Forbidden Journey actors cost, I guess.
But they didn't mind paying it because that ride saved Universal.
Yeah.
That ride
$31 million.
That is pretty expensive.
Yeah, but they were saying it was because of the hiring them back.
Again, good call on that.
On what? Wait, what?
on them doing that ride. Mary, do you not want to talk
Oh.
about your waffles, because I can edit that lead
No,
in
I'll
out.
talk about waffles. Yo,
Okay.
fuck that bitch. No, I'm just
Wait.
kidding. Oh God, we're recording. I mean,
Yep.
I love her. I'm still angry.
Pooh's honey hunt cost 186 million.
What?
What?
The Winnie the Pooh ride?
Oh, because it's a trackless ride. That's still
And they also had to do demo is very expensive. So they had to demo. Joe.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, and I don't know for sure why they left River Country abandoned for so long, but covering in what used to be a water area is extremely expensive.
Especially if they get like this.
All sorts of
Everything to fill it
piping,
in, yeah.
everything. Yeah, it is super, super expensive to do that. So that is probably why until they had a clear-cut vision of what they wanted to do with that land, they probably just, we're just gonna leave it abandoned.
it was the Japanese Winnie the Pooh hunt, and the cost was for research and development because of the trackless system. So it wasn't really for the construction of it. It was more for like cost associated with the technology.
Mary, that shirt is fantastic.
Oh, you see, it says "Turn down, poor K."
Turn down for K. All
All
right.
Is that French?
Yeah.
All right. So in this segment, what my goal, I'm still recording. That's fine.
Why does your face look so blurry?
Mine?
Yeah, I thought my eyes were going on me.
No,
Because
it's
I-
just-
Well, there's a couple things. One, I'm further away from my computer than I'd like. Also, I have the sun coming in on me, and then I think
the
that
sun's
my
coming.
I think that my microphone
It's been
causes
raining all day.
It causes problems with
With the focusing.
the focusing with the
Yeah, mine
backdrop.
does too.
So whatever. You guys are.
You're in like
beautiful.
720 HD, and it's like
yeah. All right. So my goal of this next segment is, Joe and I want to do kind of a lot of collaboration whenever we can with Diz Hiz and No New Friends. Not necessarily the crossover that nobody asked for, but some fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that, and I'm going to do it again on Diz Journey tonight. That I'm going to kind of start this friendly little feud with Alex, which I think will be really cool to force our listeners to listen to Diz Hiz and Diz Journey, and then vice versa, because and it's not going to be like super negative. I'm not going to be a dick, but
you should.
I
Be a
think-
I think you should. I agree.
Yeah.
okay,
Go on.
fine. Well, look,
Dude,
I'm
like
looking
that
for
asshole
Joe's nod. I'm
dyes
looking for
his
Joe's
beard
nod
red.
because I haven't even discussed this with Joe. I just, because literally from the time that I wake up until the time that I go to bed, all I'm thinking about is what can we do to make things better?
We
What can
had
do
no
to-
idea.
I know. I didn't discuss this with anybody. I just thought that because of the Figment episode and how angry I got today listening to it, I said, this is a really cool connection that we can have where, I'm going to poke at Alex. He can poke at me on your show. I don't care, whatever. And I think it'll be a fun little back and forth to cross promote each other in a unique way. Instead of just saying, hey, listen to the Diz Hiz podcast or listen to the No New Friends. If there's a reason that they have to listen, I think that may be good.
Please mention the fact that he dyes his beard red.
Oh,
He does not though.
all right. We ready to get
Also-
into the next? Yeah.
Oh, so what this will lead up to is obviously a multi-million-dollar boxing match at MGM Grand.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'd pay.
Chris, there's also, I don't know how we're going to fit this in today, but we should fit
That's
it in
what she
today.
said.
So there's a lot to get to in this next segment, because the third segment, I want to try to talk about Disney Gay Days as much as we can. And I don't have a lot of history on it. I looked it up on Wikipedia, but I want to, in keeping with the theme of June and
Are they calling it Disney Gay Days?
No, I think it's
Yes,
just called
that's actually. I think it's
That's
just-
the proper.
it used to be called Gay Days at Disney or Disney Gay Days. Now
Hey.
I think it's called Disney, like Pride Days.
Okay, I was gonna say in 2021, there's no way they're calling it.
I think
Gay
I was
Day.
listening to your guys' show, and you guys were talking about, that June is Gay Pride Month, right?
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
yeah,
And
Pride
did
Month,
you guys
yeah.
talk? And you guys talked about why June is Gay Pride Month, right? Because of Stonewall or something like
Yeah.
that. Is that you
Yes.
guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then Mary and Chris tomorrow when we record, and hopefully it's tomorrow. I'm going to Epcot with Darren, so
God, what other day? Just pick another day.
I may have to
No,
push it to
because I don't
Thursday.
want to
I
get
can't
yelled
Thursday. I can't Thursday.
So then
I'll
we
be
will
out all
definitely
night
we are
'cause
definitely
Emily's
going to do it
birthday.
tomorrow. We're definitely going
at.
to do it tomorrow
Oh,
night then.
yay, Emily!
Because
Today's my
the
little sister
big
Caitlin's
27.
birthday.
Oh, happy
Aw.
birthday, Caitlin.
She's 14.
You get her on the phone?
Oh.
Well, she doesn't talk, but I could try.
Okay, sounds good.
So
I was kidding, but tell her I said hi.
Okay.
tomorrow night is going to be our Pulse episode.
Right. And Rachel's
So-
coming on, right?
Rachel's coming on for that. I don't know. It's going to be either the second and third segment or the third segment. There is
Okay.
no way in hell that we can do a Pulse segment and then a funny segment after that.
Yeah.
It-
I
it
do
just
not
is
have a lot
really-
to add. Just a heads up. I do not have a lot to add
You will.
about it, but I
You-
can't, but I will be able to interject on like how it affected things because it didn't really affect anyone up here like it did you guys, I'm sure.
Right. And
Know what I
that's what
mean?
I want to find out is like from someone outside of, because this hit home hard.
Right.
Like,
right.
it was a really, really big deal. It went from, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, to trying to find people that we know, making sure
Right.
that they were okay. And I remember being at work and I don't want to get too far into it today because we're going to get into it tomorrow. I remember being at work and people people hadn't found people yet. And
Jeez.
that's all we were doing on Facebook is trying to connect people with people like, hey,
Yeah.
has anybody heard about this person, or has anybody heard about this person? And that was the first time that Facebook activated their
the I'm safe
emergency
thing?
protocol, the
Oh,
I am safe thing.
interesting.
Yeah. It was intense. And I have a feeling that it's going to be 2 segments tomorrow. And I don't know how well it's going to be received by our listeners. I don't really care because I think it's important. And our episode is going to drop one day after Pulse Day.
Oh, nice.
So I think it's the 5-year anniversary, right?
Wow, really? Already?
Yeah,
Not
because
sure if
I think it was 2016.
You looking it up?
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm a little off today. I didn't have time to get my pre-podcast shower in.
2016.
2016
Sorry.
Podcast shower.
Yeah, I always take a pre-podcast shower.
Say your flu
Didn't
game.
get to
Say
do
your
that
flu
today.
game.
This is
It's-
here we go. Flu
I
game.
think it might be without the pre-podcast shower. Just sitting here in my thrift shop filth.
Well,
Yeah.
I haven't taken a shower since
But
work.
you also
I'm
haven't
just
been to a thrift shop.
sitting here in my law office filth, which is probably worse, honestly.
So,
Just
You don't
think
see the
about it.
characters I deal with.
All right.
True.
So in this segment, we're going to start with the kind of the battle with Alex. Mary, I want to hear about your day. I don't know if we're going to be able to fit it in, Chris, but I want to hear about you trying to upload a drone video. I heard that's pretty funny. There's a story with that.
Can you tell them about you and the guy giving you crap on Reddit?
I never said
Oh my
anything about
God.
that. I never said anything about that.
Um,
Didn't you
that's-
have an eBay story too?
I do, but that's timeless. Like if it doesn't come up today,
Yeah.
it can
So
will
maybe
come up
what we'll
another
do, the drone story and the eBay, we push to segment 1 tomorrow.
sounds good.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, because we could always just say like what you do over the weekend type thing.
Right.
Or
Um,
I don't know.
no
What's new with
strange-
you?
Yeah, we're not going to do any strange news this week because I think Pulse is going to be 2 segments tomorrow. And
Okay.
if it's not like we'll start talking about it in the second segment, and if that's just it after the second segment, then I'll end the show after the second segment, and then we'll push that to
Sounds
the third,
good.
and just record out of order.
I hate the fact that I always look like I'm looking down because of my camera. I'm
It
gonna have to
does
fix
look
that.
like you're, yeah.
Yeah,